Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. This tribute to Diego Maradona is two different writers. One is BBC, and the second is me, Tom Duty. I'll have a significant pause in between to indicate the end of BBC and the beginning of mine. Diego Maradona, Obituary, Argentina's flawed football icon. One of the game's most gifted players, the Argentine boasts a rare combination of flair, flamboyance, vision, and speed, which mesmerized fans. He also outraged supporters with his controversial Hand of God goal and plunged into a mire of drug abuse and pitch crisis. Personal crisis off the pitch. Short and sweet, the football genius born 60 years ago in a Buenos Aires shanty town, Diego Armando Maradona escaped the poverty of his youth to become a football superstar, considered by some to even be greater than Brazil's Pele. Maradona showed prodigy ability from a young age, leading Los Cebollitas youth team to a 136-game unbeaten streak and going on to make his international debut at age 16. Short and stocky, just 5'5", he was not a typical athlete, but his silky skills, agility, vision, ball control, dribbling, and passing more than compensated for his lack of pace and occasional weight problems. He may have been a whiz at running rings, may not have been a whiz at running rings around defenders, but he found it hard to dodge trouble. He may have been a whiz at running rings around hostile defenders, but he found it hard to dodge trouble. Diego Maradona's famous Hand of God goal. Maradona beat Shilton to the ball, and the goal was allowed to stand. In 1986, Maradona's 34 goals, 91 appearances for Argentina fell only part of the story of his roller coaster international career. In the final quarter of the early tournament, there was a foretaste of controversy that would later engulf his life. The match against England had already had extra friction, with the Falklands War between the two countries having taken place only 4 years beforehand. That on-field edge was to become even more intense. With 51 minutes gone and the game goalless, Maradona jumped with opposing goalkeeper Peter Shilton and scored by punching the ball into the net. He later said the goal came thanks to a little head of Maradona and with a little hand of God. 4 minutes later, he scored what has been described as the goal of the century, collecting the ball in his own half before embarking on a bewitching, mazy run that left several players trailing before he rounded Shilton to score. The first goal was dubious. The second was a bloody miracle, former England manager Sir Bobby Robson. You have to say that it's magnificent. There is no doubt about that. That was just pure football genius, said BBC commentator Barry Davies. England pulled one back, but Argentina went through, with Maradona saying it was much more than winning a match. It was about knocking out the English. A hero for Napoli, but drugs take hold. Maradona broke the world transfer record twice by leaving Boca Juniors in his home country for Spanish side Barcelona for £3 million. 3 million Spanish pesos in 1982, and joining the Italian club Napoli 2 years later for $5 million. Maradona became an icon in Napoli, where he scored 81 times in 188 games. He became inextricably linked to Camorra crime syndicate, dragging down by a cocaine addiction and embroiled in a paternity suit. After losing 1-0 to Germany in the final of Italia 90, a positive dope test following year triggered a 15-month ban. He returned and arrested his side appearance to get his act together to play in the 94 World Cup in the USA. But he alarmed viewers with a magnificent full-face goal celebration into the camera and was withdrawn midway through the tournament after he was found to have taken a banned substance, ephedrine. That pause is me switching to my own words. Diego Maradona is hated and loved, and never have I found haters and lovers so easy to predict. One, a person from Argentina is sure to love him, and he or she is still recovering from his death. Two, soccer fans outside Argentina hated him. Bad love, kids he denied until he didn't, drug addiction as a player and in retirement, and above all, arrogant. Dear kind readers, I assume your next search is not Maradona highlights, so here's what you would find. Sincerely, Tom Duty. First, Maradona's play during his prime was better than Pele. Second, as a not-soccer fan, I'm amazed at the attention the sport garnishes with so little scoring. So Maradona's career game count and goal count should be like 0 or 1, but it's much higher than that. Third, Maradona's warm-up. 1. He easily balanced the ball on his forehead in total control, suddenly shifting his head so the ball rested on his right side of his forehead and then left without any indication the ball and gravity were in control. Maradona was in total control. With his leg extended forward, he could balance the ball on his toe with the same control and duration as I described above. 3. With a full force kick to the sky, he could send the ball up, way up. And on the ball's return to earth, he'd be there with another kick to the sky. And he'd continued in a series of ball-to-sky count in the double digits. Dear kind readers, please, I'm begging, I'll do anything. Por favor, take a minute to think about this. If you, an ordinary adult with some basic athletic coordination, can kick the ball high enough into the air to impress little kids, but it usually stops there because the ball returns to the ground too far away to get one's foot on the ball a second time. But, if someone can manage to get a second kick before the ball touches the ground, then the ball is sure to fly out of reach. Amazingly, Maradona could send the ball to the sky again and again with full force kick in between. Maradona was arrogant, comprende. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. Readers, if you care, stay with me for a minute. I'm going to find the money that took him to, I didn't know the symbol for euro. I don't know how long ago. Spain could be in pesos. And fortunately, my wife is here and she seems to know these. So I'm going to find out whether it was pounds, pesos, Spanish peso, pounds, or euros. And I'm going through the text. There it is. Hannah, would you be so kind? 3 what? That's the British pound. So listeners, I'll read that paragraph again. A hero for Napoli, but drug take hold. Maradona broke the world transfer record twice, leaving Boca Juniors for his home country for Spanish side Barcelona for £3 million in 1982 and joined the Italian club Napoli 2 years later for $5 million. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao. Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln